Hi guys, so the policy that seems to be getting the most traction in the general election campaign is the idea of forcing or not forcing, it depends on which interview you watch, anyway, encouraging young people to engage in national service. Now while it seems not all will be military based, a significant amount would be. And while journalists haven't asked the Tories how they would fund it, they have asked other questions, such as where will all the military personnel be housed? Anne-Marie Trevelyan had this put to her, and her answer was, well, not good.
On the military side, how many do you think will be turning up for the year?
So there will be 30,000 places, is what the Prime Minister set out.
Right, okay, so 30,000 places. Where will they live?
So as the Prime Minister set out, when, if we're fortunate enough to be returned at the election, then he would set in train a royal commission in order to make sure that the details across the piece would be set out from the military perspective.
But you must have some. Sorry to interrupt, but you must have some idea of where they'll live. You don't need a commission to tell you what might be available to them.
No. But so in the first year, the plan will be next year, 2025, for there to be a pilot, which wouldn't be the full number. This program rolled out would be expected to be in full swing by the end of the next Parliament. So in the first year, next year, there would be a pilot programme which would be a small proportion in the first instance of the whole. So we're not asking to find barracks for 30,000 people in the first year.
I keep coming back to this idea that these ideas that they come up with have been extracted from somebody's behind during some brainstorming session in number 10, just before midnight. Come up with something we can throw against the wall and hope that it sticks, that it will convince the public that we actually have a plan. Like the talk of a royal commission. Royal commissions are extremely important. They have massive amounts of power. What they do is they bring together experts and then they come to a conclusion and they advise the government, this is what you should be doing. They have more power than a high court judge, I believe. So a royal commission is something extremely serious. And they're saying here, well, what we'll do is when we get into power, then we'll have a royal commission to decide whether this is a good idea or not. So let's ignore the pilot for a moment. Their main idea to convince the public to vote for them is this concept of national service. But they're not sure whether it would actually be a good idea or not, because that would come after the election when the royal commission, which can last years, will finally decide, yes, this was a good idea, or no, it wasn't. So let's say, for the sake of argument, the Royal Commission comes to the conclusion, no, this is actually a waste of time and money. Then people would have voted for the Conservative Party to not implement a policy. Instead of actually organising some experts together now and coming to the conclusion, yes, this would actually be a good idea, it would be cost effective, it would be beneficial to society. They could have done this before. They've been in power for 14 years. They could have come on, put something together in those 14 years. But no, a few weeks before a general election, they say, yeah, we're going to go with this national service. Have we costed it? Of course we haven't. Do we know whether it's a good idea or not? Well, don't worry. When we get into power, we'll have a royal commission decide whether it's a good idea or not. And even though it takes years, don't worry, we'll implement it at the end of the Parliament. But you don't know the outcome of the Royal Commission. None of this makes any sense. It's just to distract the public from the disaster of the last 14 years. It's a bit of red meat, they think, to an older generation, to convince them to come out and vote, to force young people to do jobs. The icing on the cake in regards to all of this was Rachel Johnson, Boris Johnson's sister, on her LBC show, saying, well, what we could do is we could force young people through national service to pick fruit and vegetables. That would deal with the problems of Brexit. Insane. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.